now we have energy beam, particle beams destroying very interesting seed and genetic depositions and storage sites in Santa Rosa. Okay, gee, now who would want to do that? Have you ever heard of Archer Daniels Midland? Archer Daniels Midland, ADM. Guess who owns Archer Daniels Midland? Okay, have you ever heard of the Bush family?
And a good day to all of you, and thanks again for watching. This is Luca Majno. We're back with Frank Gregory Ford on Global News Update on TLBTV, courtesy of the Liberty Beacon, where we give you complete backstage, up-to-date info as to the developments occurring in our world today. Greg, you have news from your longhorn bull. Have you heard from him yet, or what's going on?
Yeah, no, haven't heard from him, but I would just love to have somebody, if they can hear it in Santa Rosa, this message, to go check on that poor guy, okay? He's about a quarter of a mile south below the Russian River Road, okay? Anybody in Santa Rosa knows where he's at, but they need to check on him. As far as I can tell, you know, he doesn't have any water or any food, all right? So the UC Davis team needs to get there. The veterinary treatment team needs to get there and give him water and food, okay? And a little bit of salt. Give him some salt tablets too, okay?
There you go.
Because he is a landmark there in Santa Rosa, all right? So,
your video.
Please, if anybody can go to just drive by, right south, right below Russian River Road, okay, and check on him. That would be a great relief to me.
Well, I lost your video, Greg. I hope it'll. Oh, there it comes.
Okay.
It's back. Yeah, the longhorn bull. I mean, you know, pets. It's family members, right? They're important to us.
Yeah. And he's right there in Santa Rosa, right on Highway 101, you know, just south of the Russian River Road. Okay. So please, somebody, you know, and I'm going to check tomorrow with UC Davis if they treated him or not. Okay. So anyway, but please go check on him. Give him some water. Give him some food, grass. Okay. All right. Let's do this show, Luca.
Yeah, and I checked on my sister who is in California. She's in Novato, which is south. So she's fine.
Right.
And one of my best friends on social media is fine too with his family and his home. Thank goodness. I've got a little story to share tonight. A story that is likely to have affected every truth seeker, any place on the globe, doesn't matter where you live. And I said to myself tonight, when I was getting the show ready, what would my partner do if she asked me, you know, like, what do I do? Do I tell the story? I'd say, tell the truth, and they will listen. So here goes. I'm going to tell you just the way it happened. And Greg, I'm going to share screens with you so we can go through this. Yeah, we can check out the beautiful forest because it doesn't seem to be the case in California. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to start sharing some of these pictures that I have amassed for the show tonight. And just to, you know, give a little background, perhaps short comments during the pictures, and maybe afterwards we can talk about it some more. But some of these are just really scary, and I really wanted to share them. This one in particular, I got really, really suspicious and upset, and something told me there was more to this than just fires. And suddenly I come across this one, directed energy weapon, amplified and focused cyclotron resonance. California fires burning at 2,750 degrees Fahrenheit, melted steel beams, and normal house fires max out at 1,700. So, you know, I started asking questions and looking around, and I remembered hearing talk about 9/11 and directed energy weapons being used on 9/11. So I put the two and two together, and I automatically assumed, which was wrong, that this was the case here, because I've never seen fires like this, and a lot of people say the same thing. They've never seen fires completely disappear anything in sight and leave greenery around. Especially this picture here really told me that something is not normal, to say the least. The post office was delivering anything standing for a post office box. They were delivering. And this is what I came across again for the second time. What type of forest fires leave trees intact but vaporize homes without a trace? Appliances, granite countertops, toilets, textiles, stonework, washer, dryer, completely vanished. Firefighters reported it's like we've been nuked. Nothing, never seen anything like it before. On the other hand, military intelligence agencies recently announced publicly that they've been testing directed energy weapons mounted to aircraft. So there's also this thing about people sharing that they had seen lights in the sky, and Greg can attest to that, and we'll get to that in a minute, which is something that directed energy weapons do when they go through the spectrum. And I've never seen melted aluminum before. I've never seen anything to the likes of what we're looking at right now before in my entire life. So when you compare the before and after images and some like this, complete stone walls disappeared. Metal structures, steel disappeared. And there's quite a few A-B images, but I mean, we want to get through this relatively quickly. So once you start looking at the melting temperatures, and this comes from a video that I'm going to be giving you the site for, or the address for, in just a bit, you start to, things start to make a little bit more sense. Tires will not melt, even if they're being put in a furnace. But Greg, you say that it does make a difference if there's aluminum wheels. Am I right?
Magnesium wheels.
Magnesium wheels. Okay. So this is what I've been inundated with today. So what I said to myself was like, this is crazy. So I went into a frenzy, and I got really, really, really upset. I got really down for a long part of the day, and I couldn't understand why until I started talking to myself, like, what is the problem? And it turns out that what really bothers me the most, Greg, is that we're having to deal with stuff like this in the first place, that we actually have to say, oh, could it be directed energy weapons, or could it be thermite, or both? It's totally disheartening. And it really, really affected me today in a big way.
Okay, good. Thank you, Luca. I appreciate those snapshots. Okay, now everyone who listens to the show knows that I have said what I found in Iraq, which was a beam, a particular particle beam that I saw, and it was directed at from above, by the way, as in airborne, and it was directed at a MiG-29 state-of-the-art fighter, a Russian fighter that was sitting in a village that had been towed into the village for protection, and it was melted, okay? And I've said this before, ad nauseum, I'm sure, to some of you, but look, the same thing is what we're looking at now, okay? And I think I came across the reason for this particle beam being used, okay? And by the way, the 8th was my birthday, and I happened to be sitting in my living room near my deck looking at the ocean, and I had something off just north. It was just north of Santa Rosa, okay? Off in the distance. It was luminescent. It looked like a something falling out of the sky, okay? And it was bright white light. I know other reports said it was blue, which is blue and green, okay?
And red.
Now, I have been sitting on my deck many, many times, and virtually every night I see something like this. It's either a blue meteorite or a green comet coming down and crashing in that area. Okay. Now, this was white light, and it completely filled my whole back part of my home with white, intense light. And it was slipping behind the clouds that we have on the coast. Okay, it slipped behind those, but very clearly it was white hot, and I saw it fall out of the sky, headed towards the direction of Santa Rosa. Okay, I saw it. I don't want to hear about any other, UFOs or anything. I saw that white light falling, in that direction. And that's a big area for meteorites to fall in. So, but the thing is I was told about 5 minutes before the show started that yes, this was an attempt. If everybody should know this, and I think they should in Santa Rosa, it's the home of the world's foremost expert on botany and botany uses, botanical uses, as in Luther Burbank. Okay, he's probably the most famous botanist in the world in history, and the thing is, that's why they have the unique, huge storage site of all the seeds, genetic stock of the old-time seeds in the world are kept in Santa Rosa. Okay, so think about it for a sec, people. Not to stir up any kind of conspiracy.
No, not at all.
Hey, we're seeing major attacks that kill hundreds of people, okay, wound hundreds of people, okay. Now, we are now getting reports of particle beams, okay, being used as weapons out of Iraq, which I saw personally, as I've told you, but they can be used airborne in this area, okay. And I would be, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of recorded forensic data, okay, on this issue of Santa Rosa and find out that something doesn't add up. All right. As you said, Luca, temperatures were just astronomical in this fire. We're talking places that basically were separated by many streets, in parallel. Could we have that picture again, Luca?
What's that? In which one?
Showing that one housing tract. Okay, very clearly those houses are separated. Those rows of houses are separated by streets, and those flames managed to get that kind of temperature, even though there were fire breaks cut. Okay,
that's one of the first ones that I showed. Probably this one here.
Okay. See the several rows of houses that were there? Okay. And notice how there's streets separating those rows of houses?
Yes.
The fire should never have gotten to the temperature it did. All right? Never have gotten that high. Okay. And by the way, when I drove through Santa Rosa just 72 hours ago? Okay, that's more like it, Luca, right there. Keep that one. Okay. The hills we just saw in the background, those were all burned. Those were all on fire and burned. It's a strip about 30 miles long, okay, and probably 4 to 5 miles on either side of 101, okay, where this fire was burning, okay. They've never seen anything like this ever, okay. And it started as soon as everybody's reporting, as soon as whatever that was that came crashing out of the sky hit the ground, that's what started it. This car right here, I had to drive around that car, okay, to get out. All right. So that is the Russian River Road right there where that happened.
Okay. I'm gonna finish snapshot real quick, Greg, if you want, and we've got other stuff to discuss as well, so that we don't take too much time up. Okay. And I also want to get into the Aboriginal segment, as I always do.
Okay.
So this is the first one that I want to share tonight about Taliban control, Afghan production, and who is the real drug dealer. Okay. And this is what I mean. It's so incredible to be able to sit here and say that 30 years worth of investigation is under my belt. 30 years. And every day there's something else. One day it'll be this. Next day it'll be Monsanto. Next day it'll be poisoned water. Next day it'll be ISIS. You know, I posted this on social media today, and they said, no, not exactly, because the USA is getting orders from somewhere else. So it's not really, it's not really made in the USA. Right here. Right. There you go.
There we go. Right there.
Okay. It's never an accident, people. It's never an accident.
And remember, folks, I'll add something to this. Is you see ISIS, you see Mossad. Well, guess who I recruited by accident in the city of Samarra? All right. I recruited Al-Agassi al-Baghdadi. Okay. That wasn't his name. That was his real name. And but by the way, his name that everyone knows him now as is Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi.
Right.
And I was informed later, I was taken aside and said, listen, you imbecile, did you have any idea that, you know, the reason why my command and the intelligence agencies there in Iraq with us are going nuts? Because you recruited a double agent.
Oops.
You recruited an Israeli Mossad agent by the name of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, a.k.a. Al-Agassi al-Baghdadi, and that's what he did, all right? After I was renditioned, okay, out of Iraq, he was thrown into a Camp Bucca, what's called Camp Bucca. And by the way, check out everything I say. If there's any doubting Thomases, and there always are a bunch of hand-wringers, okay, check out where he was thrown. He was thrown into Camp Bucca. All the intelligence agents that I worked with ran Camp Bucca, okay? Then he was thrown into Abu Ghraib, and then he was allowed to recruit all the known victims of Abu Ghraib, and that became the core of ISIS. Makes sense, right? We taught them everything they needed to know on how to set up an insurgency that was insurgent army that was beyond description. Okay, so there we go, right there. You don't know how true everything you say is Luca, on this case.
Well, this is one of my favorites. U.S. World Domination Tour, bombing a country near you. And this is really, really what the truth is. This is exactly what we're doing. The U.S. has killed 20 million, actually it's closer to 30 million people worldwide since World War II in 37 countries. Okay? Name the country built on the genocide of one race and the enslavement of another. In our Aboriginal segment today, in our original people segment today, this is an important one for me because broken heart syndrome, as you're a doctor, Greg, right? Broken heart syndrome is a real medical condition brought on by tragedy or shock, and it feels like a heart attack. A surge of stress hormones causes a temporary disruption in your heart's normal pumping function, giving you chest pain, shortness of breath. Back in the day of Chief Joseph from the Walla Valley in what is today Oregon, I don't know how they say it. I didn't know how to say Arkansas. You know, I thought it was written Arkansas. You know, Kansas with AR. I didn't know. Anyway, I was living in Canada for the last 30 years, but I got it pretty close. Chief Joseph died of a broken heart, literally. The doctor that was presiding over Chief Joseph said that Joseph died of a broken heart because he lost his Walla Valley. This planet cannot sustain this system. And this is where we're getting to. We're getting so close to the tipping point, like Greg always likes to say on the show. The hardest journey one can take is from your head to your heart. The healing journey is found in the path leading back from your heart to your head. Your wellness is found in the continuous flow of honoring both your thoughts and your feelings. This is how this country was built. This is what people were living 10,000 years before we showed up. You know, they knew how to live. So, Greg, thank you for allowing me that moment. and it is important to get through stuff like this. And for me today, I just found myself like reeling in just a total, I don't want to say depressive mood, but it was horrible, and I had to really kick myself in the butt and say, "Whoa, talk about this on the show. Tell people that this is I guess what happens. This is one of the symptoms for truth tellers, right?" And Greg, I mean, I'm sitting here in my living room. I didn't even live to go through what you went through, so I mean, I shouldn't be complaining, but I'm just sort of empathizing a little bit with what you've gone through your whole life after 30 freaking years plus.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hate to say this, Luca. I've got to tell everybody this, this information. I just got right before your show. I got it from Washington. All right. Now, on top of this massacre, this intentional government massacre, but by the way, the lead witness now is dead. Okay. The lead witness in Las Vegas is dead. Who eyewitness, she was talking to the FBI, said no, there were multiple shooters. She was found this morning dead. All right. She is dead. They don't know what the cause is. Her husband saw her alive at 4:30 in the morning. Okay. Her mother went to pick her up a few hours later. She was dead. Okay. Now, what does this sound like? Does this sound like another JFK run? It sounds like that to me, folks.
I'm sorry?
But we have, okay, I got, yes, that was a massacre. Okay. I hope NSA lets me get this message out, because I can see they're screwing with this.
Yeah, you better hurry up. You better hurry up.
So what we have here is coming from Washington about 10 minutes before the show started, okay, is there was a hearing, a secret hearing in Washington last week, and what it has been uncovered is that Hillary Clinton's spy ring, yes, I didn't stutter, let me get that out again, Hillary Clinton's spy ring, okay, that she has coordinated with ISI, has now been downloading for several years a program called Incumbent. Okay, now I'm sorry, Constituency. That's what it's called, Constituency. All right, and what that means is that for representatives, elected representatives have to have a software program where people can send messages in and speak to them about different issues that are bothering them. Like I used it to contact Nancy Pelosi, Barbara Boxer, Dianne Feinstein, John McCain. Okay, I let them know on iConstituent, okay, that yes, the United States government under the Bush administration was running a massive, industrialized, global torture and assassination program, okay? And everybody probably rolls their eyes and said, "Oh, you mean the CIA?" Okay, no, this is a red-headed stepchild of the CIA, okay, called Copper Green. Well, funny thing is that none of those folks wanted to hear about it, okay? Especially Nancy Pelosi didn't want to hear about it. But it turns out that all that information is downloaded by this spy ring of Hillary Clinton's. Is this treason, folks, or what? I mean, please tell me. I've spent my whole life chasing people that were committing treason, okay? I was a counterintelligence agent. I know what treason is when I see it, okay? But the irony is the Awan brothers, the Pakistani ISI, Awan brothers, are running this program for Hillary Clinton, and it has now come out that all of those communications with our elected officials all across the United States, all our elected officials have been downloaded by Hillary Clinton's spy service, and they are finding out who was behind specific programs like the drone programs, okay, Predator programs, and finding out, and then now they are going to start murdering people, U.S. citizens, okay, at the behest of our spy ring that Hillary Clinton is running, and it has been running, okay, to make it look like there is a new set of domestic terrorism issues. Domestic terrorism issues. Because the people that were running the Predator program, okay, are mostly in the United States. So they're going to start being murdered in their beds, okay, and it won't be by angry terrorists. Did I say that correctly? Terrorists, okay? No, they're going to be targeted, and it's going to be attributed to this spy ring that Hillary Clinton's running, okay? So there we go. We've got Gladio C, okay, murdering the people that really know what has gone on and who was killed on whose orders, okay? Do I need to say this again, people? That's what we have going on right now with Gladio C, is Hillary Clinton's spy program has been downloading all your elected representatives' confidential information, and that is what is given are, basically the operators of Gladio C, their targeting systems, their targeting programs for killing American citizens and making it look like there's a new terrorism program, terrorist waves sweeping across America.
There's the NSA again.
There it is right there. Do I need to repeat it, Freddie Bend? Okay.
Well, Greg.
Pardon me?
We're going to make it real quick because we're getting NSA interference and I don't want to lose you. So quickly give us your last thoughts before we go.
Right. No, that's it. Hey, we saw the beginning of the program start. The beginning was in Las Vegas, okay? Mm-hmm. And now we have energy beam, particle beams destroying very interesting seed and genetic depositions and storage sites in Santa Rosa, okay? Gee, now who would want to do that? Have you ever heard of Archer Daniels Midland? Archer Daniels Midland, ADM. Guess who owns Archer Daniels Midland? Okay, have you ever heard of the Bush family, the Bush crime family?
I give up.
Guess who owns ADM? Archer Daniels Midland, okay? The Bush family owns it, all right? There we go. There goes our genetic stocks up in smoke, okay? Can I put it together any simpler for you folks? You want to be angry, be really angry, okay? 9/11 was just a nice little warm-up, okay? Yes, hey, 3,000 Americans were slaughtered on the streets of New York, okay? And what happened? Hey, the same people that were in power are still laughing about it. The Israelis think that was the greatest thing that ever hit Israel, okay? Yeah. They made billions and billions of dollars for pulling off 9/11, okay? And now their chosen, a watchdog, attack dog is Donald Trump, all right? And he's already starting another war with North Korea, okay? No wonder the North Koreans want to get a missile, that can hit the United States. Because we've got a lunatic running us right now that's doing the bidding of Israel, okay? Remember what I said, Russian-Israeli mob. Russian-Israeli mob, okay? Gee, now, wasn't there a big investigation about Russia and Donald Trump? And gosh, he gets a call every other day from Ben Netanyahu, Bibi, okay? Do I need to spell it out anymore? Here, my closing notes. You want to know what my closing message is? Vote for Jesse Ventura. Let's get these clowns out of Washington, okay? There's nobody that is strong enough to do what Jesse Ventura can, okay? And let's vote him. Let's impeach Trump, get him out of there, all right? Bring in Jesse Ventura and knock this crap off. Knock this crap off and take America back. That's what we ought to do. Forget making America great. Hell, America's gotten great in spite of these treasonous sons of bitches like we've got now.
Mm-hmm.
But we ain't going to be that way much longer if the agency has their way and, and Donald Trump has his, okay? So there it is.
Well, Greg, I just want to say how proud I am. I feel privileged. I feel privileged and blessed to be alive in this time and to be able to have a show like this. Thanks to the Liberty Beacon, Roger Landry, Rebecca Mahan, and Ralph Eli, and all the good people working with us. And it's something really special for people to actually say, no, we're not saying we have truth. We're saying don't believe us. Do your research. Take what we give you and do your research. And we got to stop arguing and pull together. Until next time, Greg, thank you so much, and I hope your cough goes away.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's a result of being renditioned and tortured for the American people. All right? That's why I have a cough. Okay. You're welcome, Luca.
Thank you.
And let's ask people to send in their questions, too. Have them send in their questions. All right? Let me know they're awake. Let me know they're awake out there.
And thanks to all the listeners. Luca. I'm going to say it before he does. Thanks to all the listeners.